YouTube tarot reader, Lisa Lee, has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
There we go. You can hear me now. Good evening, everybody. I was just saying, hopefully you've had a lovely day this fine and dandy evening. I have a brand new tarot deck to use. So yes. Oh, thank you. I have a brand new tarot deck. I'm just shuffling it through. Who have I just seen pop up in the chat? Beautifully blessed spiritually here. Hello, my darling. Yes, I do have your. You'll have to send me the question again, but I do know that you are effectively a super chat. So as soon as you want your question, my darling, stick it in the doodah comment section. Do that for me, and then I'll be able to read for you in a second. When I'll make yours the first reading, my darling. How about that? Can't say fairer than that. Wasn't the summer of 2024 wonderful? It was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm glad we're back into autumn, though. I really am. Now we've got our autumn special colours and things on. Thank you for that, Renata. That's very kind of you. Yes, I think everybody is here. So then, do you want to see my new deck? I don't know whether I'm going to use it tonight. I might, if you request it, I might use it. It is the Dog Tarot. Isn't that amazing? It's a Hog Tarot of doggos. It's quite cool. Look, I've got a new little light, so let me stick that on as well. I'm going to swap the camera over. Before we get into the readings, I'm going to show you this deck because I saw it this week on YouTube for the first, not on YouTube, on Amazon for the first time. And this isn't going to be a full review, obviously, because we're going to get into some live readings in a second. But I just thought I had to show you it. So it's got lovely doggos all through it, even in the pip cards. So I have been shuffling it, but it's not properly shuffled. Obviously, look, we've got the High Priestess, Empress, the Sun. Look at that little fluffy bottom. Those little fluffy, that looks like a Pomeranian or a Corgi. I don't know all my breeds. Little Westie, the Ten of Wands. That's so cool. The Page of Wands, look, running away because youthful puppies. Isn't it just a really cool deck? A little Dachshund. I was just... Oh, sorry. I don't know why that kept cutting out then. But yes, so what I was saying was this looks a bit like our Ruby, except she's brown and our Ruby's a bluey. But we had to go to the vets and pick up some medicine, which is why I'm only getting to the deck. That's why I've only looked at it just now earlier, and I haven't properly shuffled it. But look, isn't it just wonderful? All cute little doggies all the way through. So if you would like a doggo reading, you can request that this evening, and we'll look at the devil as a pussycat. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Anyway, we might use some of that tonight. I might not. It's one of those things where I do quite like to spend some time with a deck, but this feels like a very fun deck. So maybe that's what we'll do. Oh gosh, we've got loads of people in. Do I have the Star Tarot, Patricia? No, I don't. Right, let me have a look. Right, aha. I've got your question in. Beautifully blessed, spiritually here. I've got that in. No to what, my darling? I don't know what that means. Janice Kath, good evening to you. Neenzo Day, good evening to you. Yeah, it's because I moved something and it dislocated everything. But anyway, we're back on now. All good now. You love the new deck. Oh, isn't it so cool? It's so cool. So yes. Anyway, what are we doing this evening here on this channel? Well, as always, we're going to be doing some tarot reading. Now, if you are new here, there are two very easy ways of getting a reading. The first way is to send a super chat, and then that will guarantee that your reading is next. Or you can wait until I open up a free round and then pop your question into the chat, starting with the word question. Either way, if you pop it into the chat, starting with the word question, if multiple people put it in the free round, then I will pick one of those at random. The only way to get a reading guaranteed is to send it, as I say, as a super chat. Don't forget, memberships are now open. You can join the membership if you like. There are some perks and some emojis and things like that you get at various different levels. There's 2 levels at the moment. And you get to come and hang out with us on the members only streams if you sign up to the Americano with a level. So yeah, you can come and hang out with us on a Sunday evening, 6 p.m. till 7 UK time before the main live. But if you do want a reading, there are some house rules. So as it says on the little thing just up here, it is for entertainment purposes only. Sorry. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life, and tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you are looking for help in those areas, please do seek out professional support in those areas. I am not a professional. I am a very gifted amateur. That's what I always say. So if you would like support in those areas, reach out to professionals. If you would like a tarot reading, you've got to be at least 18 years of age. Why? Partly it's YouTube's rules, and partly I am not about to get into any arguments with anybody's mother, anybody's grandmother, father, caregiver, support worker, whatever, about me reading to under 18-year-olds and telling them that they can go off and don't have to do school exams and they can be a bum and, you know, do other things. I am in no way, in any way, shape or form, about to do any of that. So that's why I don't read for under 18s. Also, please make sure you do not dox yourself on this here live stream. Okay, it's really important, right? I know we're all lovely people here. We all share a lot about our lives. It's one of the most lovely groups of people I've ever engaged with. I'm very, very proud about our community that we're slowly building here. It's lovely. But that still means, just because we're such a lovely community, don't take your eye off the ball in terms of cyber security, okay? Because what you put in the chat today may well stay around forever and ever and ever, and could be found by future bosses, future governments. You never know. So just please remember, don't dox yourself. Don't put anything out there that is private if you don't want that out there, put it that way. Right then, so Fabian, thank you very much for your super chat. I have one in as well, so I am hitting your star button. So we're going to start very, very quickly. Thank you very much, Patricia. We are going to start with the 5th Spirit Tarot deck. Now, this is my probably rapidly becoming one of my favorite ever decks. It's become my go-to deck for many reasons, mainly and primarily because it is such an honest deck. It really is an honest deck. So if you're looking for an honest answer, then this really is the deck that I would say to use, and it's the one that I keep reaching out for on a daily basis. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be reading with primarily today, unless you ask for the doggo deck, in which case we'll try and put some doggos into the readings as well. Right then, so the first reading I have on board is actually from Sunday evening. It's for beautifully blessed, spiritually here, who did send a super chat on Sunday evening. Unfortunately, it was right as we were finishing, and I said to come and join us this evening, and I would do your reading today, which is what I'm about to do. So then, we've gone through all the doodah, we've gone through all the gubbins. If you would like a reading, hold off a second. I've got 2 super chats. I'll do both of those, and then I am going to open up a free round. Okay, so we'll see you in 6 seconds time with the other camera. Yes, indeed. So then, beautifully blessed spiritually here. Let's have a look. By the way, everybody, as well, I am not on the chat screen when I'm reading for people. So I do have a team of moderators that are just the most amazing bunch of people. They really, really are. The moderators are fantastic. So because I have such a wonderful, wonderful backup team, if a moderator, I didn't mean to stop that, but just in case you couldn't hear, if a moderator asks you a question or comments in the chat about you or asks you to do something or not do something, please listen to what they say, because the moderators are here to keep everything nice and cheerful, to keep everything safe. Okay. So then, beautifully blessed spiritually here. We cleanse the bell, we ring the bell to cleanse the space. And we bring in Wispy. Again, for newbies here, if you don't know what Wispy is my air elemental. Takes the form of a dragon, is in fact an egregore or servitor. And there's a whole podcast episode down in the description box just before the page break. If you go to that, you can find full details on the on a podcast episode with me and Neil discussing what my dragons are. So then, right, look at this. I've got cards flipping all over the place. Why am I not counting any of these? Well, the answer is I haven't even asked Wispy the questions yet. And this is just me getting used to shuffling. Again, I've had a fibro flare all of last week and my hands are still recovering. So, yeah. But anyway, Wispy, we're officially bringing you in now. Beautifully blessed spiritually here would like to know, will Xavier husband come back home? And if so, when, and if our marriage will last? Okay, let's have a look for you, my darling. Is Xavier, beautifully blessed spiritually here's husband, is Xavier going to come home? And if so, when, and will the marriage last? Let's have a look. So we're going to go with, I'll tell you what, we'll go with the standard, where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunities in the future are. And we'll do it as the inverted V. Here we go. Oh, a low drop. A low drop. Right then. Fabian, you'll be coming up straight after this reading, my love. So then, oh, we've got the Emperor reversed. We've got Justice. And we've got Temperance. So you've got 3 major arcana cards coming up. And then linking them, we've got Strength, another major. The 9 of Wands. And the root of this is the Page of Swords. Right, my darling, let's have a look. So then, where you are right now, we've got the Emperor reversed. Well, the Emperor is a major arcana card, and the Emperor basically stands for a patriarchal figure, an authority male figure, something like that. Generally male figure, so husbands, fathers, that sort of role. And you can see that in this instance the Emperor is reversed. So where you are now, that Emperor is very much, I don't know whether the Emperor left of his own accord or whether there was something else going on, but it absolutely feels like the Emperor is not only out of the picture but doesn't want to be in the picture, if that makes sense. So it's not as if it feels like the Emperor's exited the situation right now. Now, the thing with this is that if the Emperor's exited the situation of their own choice, then that's where they are, if that makes sense. And although this is the position of which says this is where you are right now, if Xavier is the Emperor, which I'm assuming, looking at the cards, he will be, then it doesn't look like Xavier currently has any major desire to return. The Emperor is reversed. The Emperor is kind of out of there, if that makes sense. What you need to know, we've got the Justice card. Now, this card often comes up when you're looking at legal matters. So it can come up when you're looking at divorces. It can come up when you're looking at other sort of legally separations and things like that. So in this instance, it could well be that, you know, maybe Xavier won't be coming back home. Maybe that decision has been made, because as you can see, Lady Justice here is carrying the scales of justice and the sword, even though the sword is ethereal and what's on the scales are ethereal. Our Lady Justice here, she's not exactly blind, as a lot of justice cards see her as blind, but you can see she's wielding that sword. Now, I would be, thank you, Holland. I would be very, it would be very amiss of me if I was to say that this doesn't indicate let me put it this way. This card coming up in what you need to know in terms of this particular question, with this being a lot linked into divorce, that would seem to be something that can be discussed or thought about, or something in terms of where things are headed. Now, I don't like saying that. I really don't like saying that. But again, I have to read the cards as they are here, unfortunately. In the opportunity, we've got Temperance, but Temperance is reversed. So Temperance, oh, hang on, I just realized I didn't play either of the so Justice normally looks like this, some variation of this, you can see. And in this deck, we've got the sword in the left hand and the scales in the right. This is Temperance, and quite often in decks you get this sort of image with Temperance, the angel pouring the water between the two bowls, or pouring oil and water, or something like that. In this instance, Temperance is reversed, but I'll show you them upright. We've got fire and water being mixed together, not into steam, but somehow, you know, magically mixed. The wings here are completely ethereal. So this isn't an angelic figure. This is somebody who is on Earth, 1 foot on the earth, 1 foot on the water, but they are mixing these together. If it was this way up, it will be talking about compromise. It will be talking about being able to move forward. This is saying that I don't think there is a compromise here. I don't know what's happened, but it feels pretty conclusive that how can I put it? It feels pretty conclusive that there isn't going to be a reconciliation, my darling. And I think that's something that, you know, again, I don't think anybody here wishes that for you, my love. I really don't. Sorry, I just had to turn on the subscriber only mode and things. So yeah, we go. I don't think anybody wishes this, but it really does looking at these top 3 cards. The Emperor's away. Justice is being sought, which would be legal matters, and there's no way back. There's no sort of getting through things or negotiating or anything like that. Sorry, I've got a loose cable or a connection somewhere. Hopefully this is still on and you can still hear me okay. Right. I'll go from what I was saying. Thank you, Holland. The Strength card comes in. It's linking the Emperor into Justice. So it's linking this element of things going from the Emperor being away into this sort of divorce type situation, or this separation, or whatever it is, this legal situation. It's basically saying that you need to be super strong, right? You need to find your strength here with this and absolutely lock it down. Whatever is going on for you, wherever you are emotionally, you need to stay super, super strong. I've got the strongest feeling that I don't think this is something that came about over a long period of time. It feels like this was something that came about for you maybe quite suddenly, and this is where that strength card is saying you really need to remain resilient. And again, when we've got the justice card to temperance, it's saying that you need to hold on to this 9 of wands. Wands is your sense of security, your sense of self, your sense of confidence, and the 9 is when it's at its maximum. So you really need to try and hold this. Even if you're going through an emotional time, you need to try and hold that resilience of your own confidence. Okay, the root of it, my darling, is the Page of Swords. So something has been learned, something has been uncovered in terms of the relationship, and that is what all of this springs from. I don't know what that something will be, but the page is quite youthful, quite naive, and this card is about having that naivety kind of opened up. So it's like going to university for the first time and starting to learn about the wider world, starting to learn about, you know, that you have got some people power and all of these things. It's a positive card in the long run. Okay, it's not going to feel positive right now. Let me take the justice card out, and this becomes a past to future reading. So we've got the Emperor being out of the picture, being very much, I keep wanting to say just gone, and I don't know why that keeps coming up, but yeah, I think the Emperor is gone. But this is saying that you need to have strength and use this as a learning experience. Learn from what's happening, my darling. Don't use it as an excuse to be withdrawn. You need to find that confidence, because, as I say, it does not feel like there is going to be a reconciliation or a way forward together moving forward. So you need to maintain this strength here. So the answer, the very, very blunt answer to your question, it doesn't feel like Xavier wants to come back currently. If your marriage will last, with this justice card coming up and the reverse temperance card coming up into the future, just that and that alone, it seems to feel, my darling, that for now the marriage seems to be kind of, the cards are saying the marriage is over. Again, it is only for entertainment purposes. You do make all your own decisions. I can only go by the way the cards are being laid out, and these are 3 major arcana cards. So these are the big shouty cards. And with that, my darling, I wish I had better knowledge for you. I wish I could give you better answers, but that is the reading the cards are giving me, and I do hope that at least gives you something to maybe feel that you can now, you've got some answers, and maybe you can now look forward in a different way, and maybe you can, move forward with at least a few answers, if that makes sense. But yeah, thank you ever so much for your question. Thank you for popping back in, and sorry I didn't have time to read for you on Sunday right at the end of the session. Okay, let me have a look. Elisa Manzini, thank you very much for your question. For some reason, super chats are not appearing automatically in my thing right now. I don't understand what is happening. Hold on. Do I need to do something? Auto star super chats is off, and now it's back on. Right. Okay. I've seen. So, oh my gosh, I've got loads in. Right. Okay. So, that one's highlighted, and then that one came in. Thank you, Janice Caff. And then Eliza's came in. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. So I've got a few in. Let me just have a look. So let me have a quick look back in the chat. Eliza, I've got your question there. I've got Eliza's. Patricia, thank you. Judy's in. Good evening, Judy. I hope you're well. Good evening, Janice Cath as well. Hope you're well. Good evening, Code Deb. I didn't see you pop in there. Good evening to you as well. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. What? I'm saying completely the wrong words. But you know what I mean. Right, let me have a look. I'm going back through the chat. Right, I think I've got everybody. Everybody's in. So yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you for the super chats. I'm going to be going through those now. And yeah, let me just go back. So beautifully blessed spiritually here, my darling. I hope and yeah, I really hope that you've got some answers that at least will help you move forward with your life, my darling. I know it's probably not what you're wanting to hear today, but I hope that does help. And I'm going to move on to the next question. So Fabian, my darling, MC's current feelings towards Fabian. Let's have a look. Once again, I am going to, I tell you what, before I do that, let's have I call them palette cleansers. Let's do a quick little palette cleanse. Okay, so what am I going to do with a palette cleanse today? I think we need to have, is it that time already? I think it is. So as you can see, memberships are open. Okay, you can see the thing here. You click on down on the what's it and it opens up. But sometimes in live, we need to have a bit of a silly giggle. So I think it is time for the Colton. We're going to do a Colton. We're going to do a very quick. So Fabian, KSR Suarez, Janice, Kath, and Eliza, all of you, I want you to do this as well. Everybody else here on the live chat, I want you all to do this, my darlings. Every single one of you. What we are going to do, if you don't know it by now, it's called the Colton because we do the dance. Right? So you all know the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, obviously. Mods, let me know if that music is audible. So we all know the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We all know Colton. Yep, Colton. And he did that wonderful little dance move, didn't he? He did. We all know what it was. We just fluff up the hair because it seems to be appropriately fluffed. So then what we do is we take our hands and we go up here and click, down here and click, up here and click, and down here and click. So we basically do that, right? 4 times. And this is the Colton. So ideally, you've got to have your head bob in the same position. I am having a fibro flare, and if I do that, I go a wee bit wobbly. Thank you, Patricia. I go a wee bit wobbly if I do that with my balance. So I'm not really going to do my head, but we're going to do it on a countdown, right? Because we want to have, as well as the music, we're going to have Dancing Colton just there to show you. There we are. Look, there's Dancing Colton. So that's what we're going to do. I can't swing my arms all the way back like that anymore. But we're going to do this, right? Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1. That one. I missed the beginning. I missed the beginning. Go. There you go. That'll do. That'll do for a palette cleanse. I need to watch the little dance, don't I? I need to watch it and study. I used to do that so much better, you know, back in day. Anyway, does that feel a bit? Feels a bit better. Bit of a palette cleanse. Right then. So as always, bye, Carlton. As always, we're going to go on with another reading because we do have some super chats in. So then we like doing a little palette cleanse. Fabian, we're going to come to you next, my darling. So as always, we're going to ring the doodah, ring the bell. And we're going to bring in Wispy, the air elemental. I like the fact that Ed was counting down until I say the word doodah, and it was something like 4 minutes. But yes, we use doodah a lot. That is why the members have the doodah special emoji. So maybe you should do that, Ed. Maybe when I say doodah, maybe that's when you should hit the doodah emoji. I don't know. Right then. Fabian, Wispy, we want to know for Fabian, MC's current feelings towards Fabian. That's what we want to know. And I tell you what, we're going to do, because we're talking about feelings like this, we're going to do the 6-card double level, Wispy, if that makes sense. The 6-card double level. So then we're going to go through this. And again, this is on the surface, so this is the surface level, and then we're going to go a bit deeper under here. So what is MC feeling towards you? This is where you are right now. This is what you need to know. Right, okay, so this card, hang on. I'm flipping it. I'll come to that in a second. And then we've got that one, and then we'll do this, and this. Right, so there we go. So, as always, there is a caveat with this card. It doesn't mean what it says on the tin. Do not panic, right? Do not panic. This card does not mean what it says on the tin. Okay? It's the death card. It doesn't mean death. It means transformational transition. So then, my darling, we've got, in the way you are now, on the surface level, we've got the sun. So we're looking at what MC is thinking about you and feeling about you right now. The sun is a good card of growth. It is another major arcana card. So it is a card that has lots of loveliness associated with it. So we've got sunflowers. You often get sunflowers in the cards. We've got this couple having a picnic on a lovely sunny day with their doggo. I love the fact I'm surrounded by doggo tarot. That is so wonderful. We've got a swing here, a tire swing, an adult and a child with a kite. There's all sorts going on. The sun is about growth. It's also about celebration. It's celebrating the fact that people are born, that people are alive, that without the sun, there'd be no growth, there'd be no energy. It's celebrating all of that, but this is reversed. So it is saying that there are, but I think they're really complicated, right? I think they are really complicated, Fabian, because we've got the Knight of Wands. The sun is reversed, so that's bringing with it some confusion. It's bringing with it maybe some, maybe it's talking about sunburn and things burn really brightly and things burn too fast. The subconscious, we've got the Knight of Wands. Wands is security. Knights are the characters in the cards that act first, think later. These are the ones who go rushing in, all guns blazing. Okay, you can see this person carrying a flaming torch on a skateboard. Maybe not the best of ideas. However, what this is basically saying is that I don't know whether something has been said or whether there's been, a kissy, smoochy, or something that has led to these mixed emotions, because it really does feel like this was, the emotional side was acted on really quickly, and now it's leaving confusion on the surface level, if you like, on the conscious. In the what you need to know, this is a time of transition. This is a massive time of change. So if you were in the friend zone, maybe you're coming out of that friend zone. If it's something where, something has happened, there's been a bit of a coming together, so to speak, then again, it's talking about changing that chapter. Because as I say, the death card never actually means death. It just refers to a major life change. Okay, so this could be the start of a new relationship, although I don't think it is. It feels more that one chapter has ended and something else is waiting to begin. That what backs this up is we've got this stale energy coming in with the Four of Swords. So this would be stable. This is stagnant. Okay, Swords is trouble and strife, learning curves, it's hurdles, challenges, all of that. And you can see this creature, this insect, this alien, whatever it is representing, I still don't fully know, but this is buried deep in the ground, and this is talking about some issues that need resolving. This is reversed, which is saying that this is something that isn't going away. It's like whatever the issue is between MC and yourself, whatever the feelings are, they've changed and they are not going away. The stagnancy here is the key card. This is talking about a change in how you view each other or how MC views you, but this is now talking about that energy being very yucky. So a pool of water with mozzies around it, it's that sort of, slime, sludge. And then we get to the future, if you like, what's coming, and we've got the Two of Cups reversed. Now this, my darling, if it was the Two of Cups the right way up, it will be talking about people coming together. This is very much talking about the opposite, people separating. So it feels like things there might have been a friendship or a relationship that's gone a bit wonky. And now in the situation that ending, that transitional period has changed. And now we get the Two of Cups separating, if that makes sense. And again, under the surface, we've got the Ten of So it feels like whatever the connection was, it has been been ended. It has been ended, because the 10 of swords, as I say, swords is trouble and strife and challenges and all of these things, and the 10 is when something is full. It is overflowing. The 9 is full. So earlier we had the 9 of wands. This is the 10. It means there is so much of a challenge. It's too much. It's overflowing. It's too much to deal with. It's too much to handle. This poor bird has bit the dust, unfortunately. Too many. I mean, who would put needles in a bird? But anyway, like, there's too many needles gone into this bird. But there is hope. And this is the thing to remember with all of the cards. There are silver linings on some, and some that are really dark, you know, and gloomy, have that little hint of sunlight in the distance. This has got this egg, and this is the soul of the bird is being reborn. Now, this can be seen as being, okay, this might have ended. This might be really, like, truly over. But it brings with it the fact that once situation look back, you'll be in a position where start over and learn this lesson. But this lesson is going to really test you, my darling, because the 10 is overflowing with hurdles to get through. And this coming up with this 2 of cups, I think if there was a relationship, I think it doesn't look like it has long left. And I hope that helps, my darling. Again, it's not the answer. It's not the answer that I know you're looking for, but again, I can only the cards give me, and I genuinely hope that helps, my darling. And I hope, if nothing else, I hope that it is a bit of closure. And thank you very much for your question, Fabian. Let's have a look. Oh, I feel like such a Debbie Downer today with these cards. I really do. Let me have a look. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yep. Right. Okay. So yeah, I hope that helps, Fabian. Thank you very much for your question. Thank you for your super chat, and I will leave that with you there, my darling. So yes, I do genuinely hope that helps. It feels like you're going through a rough time. It feels like there's a lot of people going through a rough time emotionally at the moment. So yeah, just be very careful. Come, make sure if you need just somewhere to hang out on a Tuesday or Sunday evening, come and join us, come and chat along and help other people that are going through life. And, hopefully that will help. I'm going to do a self-care oracle pull at about 8 o'clock. Okay, so if you are here, stick around till about 8, and we'll do a self-care oracle pull for the class today, for today's viewers, and that will be from the self-care oracle deck. It will just give us an idea of what we can all do to maybe be a little bit kinder to ourselves. But I am going to move on now, if that's okay. So KSR Suarez, your reading is up now, my darling. Once again, I am going to press a little button and have basically just a little gap in between the readings. Okay, so then Wispy, let me do the cleanse and let me bring in the dragon. So then Wispy, my darling, KSR Suarez would like to know Chris's current energy feelings towards KSR. So we want to know Chris's current feelings towards KSR Suarez. Hopefully that helps. Oh, we've got a world card that will not go back into the deck. So there we go, instantly. Wispy, I need to shuffle more than that. I haven't shuffled from the previous spread, so I'll keep that, but I will shuffle, Wispy. Sorry, I'm just telling her. I know, right? I haven't gone insane. If you're new here, I haven't gone insane. That happened a long time ago. No. Wispy is my air elemental. He is my dragon. He goes across to the Akashics, to the Akashic record, and he basically gets the information that the tarot reflects. Now, Why is that not auto starring tonight? Oh, it's very this is all very strange. Anyway, thank you, Patricia. I've seen it. Thank you, Neems. Sorry, O'Day. So yeah, Wispy goes across to the Akashic records, gets the information that then the tarot picks up on. I don't know how it works, but that's the easiest explanation that I have. And Wispy is an air elemental, so the air element is all about ideas, nuances, and also spirituality is all linked in with that. So we've got the world. Now the world flopped out and would not go back into the deck as a standard, so this becomes your clarifying or modifying card. Okay, so the world itself is quite a positive card, even when it's reversed. It's talking about there being time for stepping in through a portal to a brand new world. Okay, so this really is saying that there is a whole new world here waiting for you. Now, the thing about the world is that quite often, as you saw in that little animation, it's seen as like a garland. It's actually supposed to be an Ouroboros, a snake eating itself, the never-ending circle of life. This is the last of the 22 major arcana, even though it's number 21. We then go from the world, we go back to the Fool's Journey at the start, which is card 0. So this is saying in some way the journey may well be over as you know it right now. But this is also saying that that journey can continue, but maybe in a different form, because we've got that world. And quite often the world is talking about stepping through a portal, a bit like in Marvel films at the moment. It's all about the multiverse, isn't it? You step through and you're somewhere else. That's what this is talking about, the world. It's like the world is now, you have all the options, you've just got to choose which way to step through. Right then, KSR. So I think tonight I'm just going to use the standard spread that I prefer these days. So where you are right now, so this is Chris's energy towards you right now, I should say. What you need to know about Chris's energy and what the current opportunity is, or what the future is. Okay, and then we'll look at the undercurrent going on. So underneath that, we've got the Queen of Cups. Under the 7, we have another 7. Ooh, lots of choices. And under Strength, we have the 6 of Swords. Right then. So again, a few major arcana cards. If you don't know what the major arcana cards are, they're the ones you often see on telly, the big shouty cards. These are the news headlines. The other part of the deck, they're the ones that fill in the nuances. So then, where you are right now, with Chris's current energy towards you right now, we've got the Chariot. So what the hell is the Chariot? The Chariot is all about a journey. It's about going from A to B. It's also about winning that journey, or winning a race and coming back as a victor. You can see here we've swapped the oldie worldy Chariot for a pair of roller skates. We've got, instead of having, you know, the silver helmet and all of that, we've got a crash helmet, I guess it's called, and we've got the laurel wreaths. I don't know whether that's, there you go, you can just about see them in white around that helmet. Now this person is a victor. They are victorious. They are the winner here. So it feels like Chris's energy towards you, although there is a journey and although there is some change happening, and it's going to be changeable as we go through, it feels quite positive. So again, looking at this world, even though things might not be perfect, it feels like the energy around Chris towards you is still moving. So maybe moving from friend to something else, maybe moving from something else to friend, maybe, you know, not being aware of you to suddenly being hyper aware of you, whatever it is, it feels like there is a shift here. What I will say though, under the surface, we've got the Queen of Cups reversed. Now the Queen of Cups is a lovely card in terms of when she's upright. She's talking about nurturing. She's talking about having, you know, bringing people together. She's that very loving, warm, embraceable type of energy. However, when she's reversed, she's a little bit more about keeping, put it this way, keeping people close to her chest, right? A little overprotective, a little wrapping people up in cotton wool and making sure, you know, that they have to make the right choice, but we don't know what the right choice is. It's that sort of vibe. So there is definitely a little bit of a mixed element going on with Chris at the moment. So it could be that there's a little bit of wanting to protect you, being overprotective, something like that the Queen is bringing up. But it's all around positive emotions, whether that conversation's happened about, oh, you know, I have these feelings or not. Under the surface, it's like Chris is wanting to protect you in some way. In what you need to know, we've got the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Now, upright, this will be talking about making some difficult decisions about when to harvest, when to prune. Pentacles is all about growth, but it's also the career, work, finances suit. So in this case, the Seven is talking about some difficult choices around money, perhaps, or finance or work. Maybe there are some career options. However, we've got under the surface, we've got the Seven of Swords. So this is talking about, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't, with it being reversed. And then we've got these Seven of Swords coming in the exact same position, where it feels like it feels like Chris cannot do anything right. It literally feels, when the swords comes in, each one of these swords is a different issue, a different obstacle, a different challenge. And it feels like not only have we got the Seven coming in with like almost impossible challenges, impossible questions, knowing which way to head, knowing, you know, which gift, if you like, to move forward with, which element of your life to move, to have that growth in. And yet here, every single choice has a negative. So there is no positive here at the moment for Chris. It feels like it literally is a lose-lose situation. There is no winning here, even though, you know, maybe Chris thought there was. But actually, when we look at it, what you need to know is that, no, it's a lose-lose situation. Which leads us to the positive. So it's talking about the opportunities to come in the future. We've got the Strength card. Again, finding that strength from within, finding that strength, that inner core element. It really is talking about holding on to that strength, finding that inner resilience. Because I think even though that strength is there, it's still coming in with a lot of issues that are still around. So you're traveling here, this journey, this distance, it starts with a journey that is that you're aware of. So a physical journey, or maybe more likely an emotional journey, a spiritual journey. And it ends with this being part of the problem. The Six of Swords is about moving forward with issues, or within those issues, dealing with some and taking some forward on a journey emotionally. And this, whenever you see water in a tarot suit, in a tarot card, it reflects emotions, because cups is the emotion suit, and water is the symbol for cups. It's the element for cups. So basically, it feels like there was movement towards you. Okay, and it feels like it left some really tough decisions that no matter which way you turn is going to end, someone's going to get hurt. It's a lose-lose. And that actually the way forward is to find strength and try and take those issues with you, try and make them part of your journey moving forward, try and deal with those issues and as they happen, if that makes sense. So I think that Chris has got, if I put it bluntly, I think Chris had feelings, but this is too much. There's too much for them to handle right now, right? I think there's too much for them to handle. It's like whatever they choose, they're going to be in the wrong. And this is why I think the world came up reversed. It's like no matter what they want to happen, no matter what direction they want their life to move in, they're kind of stuck where they are. And I hope that helps. I hope it gives you some idea of sort of what's going on with Chris. It feels very much like it feels like Chris is stuck. And I don't see that changing anytime soon, my darling. So that's why the strength is coming up for you. And I hope that helps, my love. I really do. Thank you ever so much for your question. But I am going to move on a little bit right now. So then let me have a look at who is here in the chat. Right. Okay. Bear with. I'm going to swap cameras back to myself. So then it's we're having a right emotional day today, aren't we, with the cards? Absolutely. So I've got, who else have I got next? Janice Kath, my darling, you are up next. So I'm going to do your reading straight after this. I'm going to play this, and then I will do your reading straight after this. Yes, indeed, Kath. Thank you for confirming you're there in the chat. That is lovely of you. I will go ahead and do your reading just about right now. So let's have a look. You need to change the camera over, and as if by magic, a shopkeeper appeared. What? If you know, you know, and if you know, you're old. Let's be honest. If you know, you know, and if you know, you're old. So then, it's the one thing from childhood they've never really redone, have they, Mr. Ben? Although I don't know how appropriate having a creepy old shopkeeper who no, yeah, let's not go there. Right, let's cleanse that energy. Cleanse that energy, Wispy. Right, we're bringing in Wispy, the air elemental. Let's have a look. Janice, what does Oscar want with me? Hopefully he's not a grouch. In a romantic way, we're currently friends. And I just throw all the cards. You know, let's just throw all the cards up in the air, Wispy. We'll do a whole new thing. You wouldn't think I've been shuffling for 29 flaming years, would you? But I have. That's probably why my hands are a bit dodgy these days. But yes, let's have a look. So then what does Oscar want with Janice Kath Wispy in a romantic way? Let's have a look. And here we go. So what does Oscar want? We're going to go with the... I'll tell you what. We'll go with... have I got one that fits? I'm just looking on my board for... Right. Okay. We'll do it from Oscar's perspective. So this is for Oscar. Okay. So, or is that going to fit? No, I don't want to do that. That doesn't feel right. Hang on a second. What have we got here? Your wants, the partner's wants, relationship, future. Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to do that. Right then. So, Wispy, I'm going to go with what Janice wants, what Oscar wants, and what the relationship future is headed as an inverted V. Right. So then, what Oscar wants. Okay. What Janice wants. Do not get scared about the devil card. The devil doesn't mean the devil. Okay, we're going to go back to that again. Are you ready? It doesn't mean the devil. The devil does not mean the devil. The devil isn't like old Satan, old Nick, Lucifer, all of that stuff. It isn't that, okay? So do not get scared about this card. I'll explain when I come to it. And in the where you are headed, judgment. And then linking these two together, we've got temperance. Reversed, linking the devil and judgment, we've got justice. Wow, so many majors are coming up today, and the root of it all is the star reverse. Right, okay, Okay, right, my darling. So many major arcana cards, like all of them bar one. So where you are, no, sorry, what Oscar wants. The 10 of Wands is a really interesting one because Wands is all about security, confidence, self-esteem, and all of that. So it's normally quite a what's it called? Quite a positive card in most terms. However, this really is a bit odd because the 10 is when it's overflowing. So normally that comes across as maybe a little bit egotistical, a little bit arrogant, something like that. So it almost feels like Oscar, how can I put it? What Oscar wants, Oscar, expects to get. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's not necessarily that Oscar's trying to woo you. It's like Oscar's got quite an inflated, there we go. Oscar's got quite an inflated view of himself, maybe, especially in terms of relationships. There's no, the one thing I would say, there's no lovers, there's no cup cards, there's no romantic cards here. Okay. Bear that in mind, with the one exception of the devil. Now, why is the devil romantic? Well, partly because the devil represents, as much as it represents vices and all of those things that we're not supposed to do, like smoke and drink and go out partying and all of that stuff, the devil also represents marriage because it talks about contracts and it talks about the devil being in the details of those contracts. Now, obviously, in a lot more traditional decks, oh no, not that one, thank you very much. In traditional decks, you see the devil as depicted with the devil, but this is much more about who is pulling the strings, what are things being offered, and this is in the way what you want. Okay, so Oscar feeling kind of, I think Oscar is a flirt to everybody, right? That's my immediate assertion with this one card, because it's talking about being so confident and so kind of, you know, aware of Oscar's own sort of abilities, if you like, and own, you know, whether Oscar's attractive and, you know, fit and all of these things. It feels very much like they're very aware, very self-assured. When it comes to you and what you want, the devil card is basically saying be careful of temptation, right? Be careful of temptation, because it'll be very easy to get pulled down a path that maybe you don't want to go down. Do you know what I mean? So it's not necessarily a bad thing, depending on your point of view. The one thing I would say about the devil card is it's quite incredibly manipulative. This is the epitome of the snake and the Garden of Eden with the apple. This is the epitome of being, you know, it's okay, one puff won't addict you, it's okay, you know what I mean? It's like, do I really want to get, it's like, right, and this is not with my current like husband and long-term, like been together near 9 years this year, not this, right? This is with previous. For any of you who have ever dated a guy and gone on a date and that guy gets a bit handsy and then you do a bit of kissing and then he tries to push your head maybe below the waist, this is kind of that, right? And it's kind of saying, you know, trying to maybe nudge and push you in a way that you don't want to go. So just be aware of that, Janice. This is really talking about things being offered that aren't. Done it again. There we go. Things being offered that may lead to something else down the line that you're not expecting. Put it that way. Judgment is coming up. This is in the relationship future. It's reversed. So it doesn't feel very particularly positive right now. Judgment is all about on the end of days, at the end of days, when we all have to go and meet our makers and all of that stuff, when you've got the ledger in front of you and we have to atone for our lives what is going to happen. So in a lot of decks, it's the angel calling the dead to heaven. In this, it's kind of similar to that. You've got the devil, you've got the light and the souls being lifted, but this is reversed, which is saying this is about judging yourself, being judged by Oscar, having these, you know, maybe feeling that you have to do something because of XYZ. Do you know what I mean? That feeling of obligation is coming in. The linkings are fascinating. Going from what Oscar wants to what you want, we've got temperance reversed in the middle, saying that these two are not going to meet, right? Oscar as a friend, fine. Oscar as a lover or a romantic partner, it doesn't feel like that is going to mesh, because temperance is reversed. It's literally saying that connection, that melding of two into one, that sort of, that, you know, that melting pot doesn't feel like it's connecting here at all. And in fact, with it being reversed, it really is saying that this is oil and water. Like, you can mix them up for a short time if you get enough motion, if you get what I'm saying, but long term, it's still going to separate. When we go from what you want to sort of where the relationship's headed, we've got justice, which is literally saying, look, if this happens, then the judgment comes in, right? And this justice is talking about, do you really want to do this? Do you want to go down this road? Do you really want to do something that is going to end up perhaps biting you in the bum and leaving you getting judged? There is a lot going on here in terms of where this is feeling, but the root of all of this is the bloody star. And the star, I always talk about wishful thinking. This is almost fantasy, my darling. This is almost saying that actually at the root of it all is this fantasy, this wishful thinking idea of getting together with Oscar in a sexual way or a romantic way. And it's like, whilst that's a fantasy, it's fine. If that actually happens, look what we end up with. Let alone the fact you're going to burn your fingers on the bloody bonfire. Let alone that, we end up with lots and lots of, you know, drawn into risky behaviors, perhaps judging yourself incredibly harsh and incredibly badly, being judged by others. Temperance, this thing not working long term because it has no ability to compromise. It has no ability to join. With justice coming in, with some sort of legal matter, legal separations, legal things coming up. Ugh. And then at the root of it all, it's just bloody wishful thinking anyway in the first place. So what I would say, my darling, is I don't have the buzzer that goes but that is what it would say. So it's like, whatever Oscar wants, I would avoid like the plague. I would avoid like the plague, my darling. Put it that way. I would avoid like the plague. And thank you ever so much for your question. This is where facial masks and hand sanitizer and 6 foot distancing, maybe you need to have social distancing with Oscar. Keep everything on the friendship basis. It does very much feel like how can I put it? It just feels like Oscar wants more than a friendship, but not a relationship. Like he may just want to get his end away. He may just want a fuck buddy or a booty call or something like that. And I've got no reason to say that other than the way that first card felt instantly. It was a bit yucky. So anyway, hopefully that helps, my darling. Thank you ever so much for your question. Let me just have a look at who I have in still to read for. Eliza and Nins, you are both coming up, my darling. Let me just have a little look. Yeah, absolutely. Be aware, my darling. Thank you. Yes, be aware. So then, I did say that around 8 o'clock, so I'm 5 minutes late, that I'm going to pull a self-care oracle card. Now, this deck is one of my favorite oracle decks. Not that I have many favorite oracle decks, 2. This and the Urban Crow. Now, an oracle deck is not a tarot deck. Okay, so if you ever see somebody that does oracle and tarot readings, they're very different systems. The tarot will always have 78 cards. I say always, sometimes not, but mainly 78 cards. 52 are in the, no, 50, what is it? 56. Thank you, brain. 56 are the minors, 22 are the majors. You will get cards with different names, like the deck I was just reading from has swords. The deck I was reading from on Sunday replaces the word sword with blades. It's the same principle. So you'll always have that same system. There's always ace to 10, jack, ace to 10, page, knight, queen, king. The court cards may be called something else, but it's always that system, if you know what I mean. You know, sometimes they might rename cups to hearts, or vessels, or chalices, or something else in shells. I've seen it called shells. You know, in the dog tarot deck, it could be called bowls. It could be anything. Do you know what I mean? The oracle decks are completely different. So anybody can invent an oracle system. It can be 20 cards. It can be 100 cards. It can have a system like the tarot where it's kind of split into suits almost, where it's split into sections, or it can be like this deck, which is just 40 cards, or I think it's 40 in this deck. Hang on, how many is it? It is 55. So I was completely wrong. But yeah, 55 cards. None of them are linked, so there's no sort of the page is followed by the knight, which is followed by the queen. There's no order to them. Now, some people get amazing results from oracle cards. I tend to find it, because it is such a mismatched system, I like a bit more structure with my divination. I like a little bit more sort of a few more rules that then we can get into the nitty-gritty of. For me, oracle cards tend to be a bit more surface because there isn't that level of depth. However, other readers adore oracle for that reason, and it's literally horses for courses. So I have two decks that I use. So this is the self-care oracle deck. As I say, it's a beautiful deck, talks about what do we need in terms of loving ourselves, and that is what I'm going to pull from. Okay, so it's very, very generalized, but for everybody watching this right now, you are here for a reason. Okay, the mods will be saying, yeah, well, I'm here every bloody time. Yeah, well, mods, you know, you're also here for a reason. This is good for you as well, because you all could have decided today that you were a bit tired, a bit knackered, a bit whatever. You know, it's been a lovely day. You want to go and enjoy the garden or have another beer in the pub or whatever it is. You all could have, you know, decided not to be here. The fact that everybody is here right now, this conjunction of joined energies at this moment is wonderful, right? Wonderful. And everybody who is here right now is engaged with a shared energy. So we're going to use that shared energy, and we're going to ask Wispy to pull us a card. Oh, I'm having sound issues. Okay, my soundboard has stopped, so that's going to be interesting. So then, Wispy, go ahead and press start. Sorry everybody, I got completely thrown by having no sound then. So Wispy, go ahead and pick a card for everybody who is here right now. Sorry, I mean I'm pressing my buttons here. Look, you can just see them, and there's no sound. There's supposed to be sound playing, so something has happened to the inputs. Never mind, I'll sort that out. Right then, Wispy, one lovely card for everybody watching this right now at 8 minutes past 8 on 14th of May 2024. Here we go. It is, what do we need to do? We need to connect with our wounds. I'm going to adjust this, and I would say connect with your own genitals, your genitalia, right? We're not going to use womb. We're going to use connect with your adulty parts, right? The sound's been temperamental the whole time. Yeah, I don't know why. But this card is literally saying connect with your inner sexual parts, right? you can do that in different ways. You can obviously do that on your own with other people. You can also do it in a way that is connecting to the universal energy, which sounds incredibly woo-woo. And you know I don't normally like woo-woo, but when it comes to cards that talk about our personal parts, sometimes we can forget that we have that side of us. And sometimes, even though that side of us might not have been allowed for a long time, we can still connect to that side. If you are safe and happy to do so, we can still connect to our adulty side, if that makes sense. So yes. Oh, I don't know what's happening today. I don't know what is happening. My system is not entirely. What is going on? Right. Okay. We're back. So yes, connect to your adulty parts, and do so in a way that is right for you. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I've got to say, in all the years I've had this deck, this is the one card I was always really fearful of coming up. And it's come up on a day where everything else is going on as well. So there we go. Anyway, there you go. Connect with your adulty parts in any way that feels right for you to do so. And if that means having a little bit of it's not going to play my wow, is it? Or my, oh my, no, it's not. But if it means, like, going the full hog and giving yourself a nice little pleasurable moment, then feel free to do so. And on that note, let me hit. So I'm going to change it. This is going to be the strangest, quite possibly the Great Dildo Hunt at Beltane. Quite possibly, this is going to be. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to play something now. I'm all flustered. I'm going to try and hit something. Whilst I'm going to play this, whilst I try and jiggle with some cables at the back of the computer. Bear with me and I will be back. Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the witchy community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com. Hello, I'm back. Nothing is working, so that is fantastic. Right, hopefully you can all hear me. There we go. Right, okay, hopefully you can all hear me. Everything at my end has died, but that's good. Right, well, it's not good. I'll have to sort it out before Sunday. Right then, everybody, let me have a look. Who is next up? I'm going to ask for no more super chats right now, if that is okay, everybody, just because I am I do not know what is happening with the system, the electronics, everything's acting up. So I'm hoping to get through the next two. Right then, Eliza, hello, my darling. Elisa Manzini, I've got your question in. It says, let me have a look. Wispy, we're going to have to ask you to join us with your music playing in the ether. You know it's playing, Wispy, so that's good. Right then, Elisa Manzini, what is the current energy between Flavio and yourself? On the last reading, I pointed out at some fear you had blocking your connection. I wonder if this has changed on overlooking this. Right, okay, my darling, we'll have a look for you. So then, Wispy, what's going on between Flavio and Elisa? What is going on between Flavio and Elisa? Let's have a wee look-see. Oh my gosh. Do you know what I thought tonight was going to be such a wonderful night, and it is. I'm enjoying myself immensely. I am just very, very worried and concerned about my system, because my system is kind of, you know, jury rigged. What's the phrase I'm trying to say? It's kind of held together by bubblegum, string and wishes at the moment, the sound system. So I'm hoping that it's still, I don't know why I keep pressing buttons. It's not going to play, is it? You know, I haven't done anything with it, but suddenly, oh, let's just press the button just in case magically it's reworking itself. So then, Wispy, what is the current energy between Flavio and Elisa? So we're going to do, this is a much easier one to answer, okay, than some of the ones I've had today. They're a little bit vague today. But this is a little bit easier. So we've got what you want, what Flavio wants, and where the relationship is heading. Okay, so what you want, Knight of Wands reversed. Okay, less quick action, less jumping in with both feet, maybe a little bit more thoughtfulness. What Flavio wants, the Knight of Pentacles. So you want, okay, that's interesting. You're both looking at knights and the way where the relationship is headed. The Fool. Do not worry about this card. It's a really positive card, right? Even though it's reversed, it's still a positive card. And I know that we've got all cards reversed so far. Linking the Knight of Wands, what you want, with what Flavio wants, we've got the King of Swords. Okay. Interesting. From what Flavio wants, or what the pair of you want, to the Fool, we've got Strength reversed. Okay, we've seen Strength a couple of times tonight, but this is the first time it's come up reversed. And in the root of everything, the Four of Cups reversed. Okay, so the Knight of Wands, what you want. And we'll do what Flavio wants as well, because they're basically the same thing or very similar things. So what you want as the Knight of Wands, okay? The Knight of Wands is talking about moving quickly, making quick decisions, and moving very fast in terms of confidence, self-esteem, all of those sort of things. So you are wanting, the fact that this is reversed, it's saying that you are wanting to take a bit more time, a bit more growth. You're wanting to maybe take things as they come and to build that confidence over time and experience. What Flavio wants is basically the same, but in terms of career. So you are wanting to learn how you know, the two of you bond together, how you grow together and all of that. Whereas Flavio is really concentrating on the money side, the financial side. He's wanting things to be, he's wanting things to pan out on a, yeah, career-wise, money-wise, right? So again, there could be, what this could be reflecting is that maybe Flavio thinks that you are out for money, or maybe Flavio is thinking that, you know, he's got to earn more money, or there's something here around saving for a longer term future. The one thing I would say though is that I'm going to do the linking before I come to the Fool. The card that's linking you both is the King of Swords. So this could be an older male figure. It could be a father figure. This could be somebody who is absolutely laying down the rules of how this relationship is supposed to go. Now, this feels that it's linking the two of you. So it feels external to each of you. So I don't think this is either of you saying, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. It feels like this is somebody who is literally making the two of you, making your job of being together, or making your job of, you know, trying to build a relationship harder than it needs to be. They are setting obstacles in your path for you to overcome. So just be aware of that, because quite frankly, I think you've got enough obstacles and challenges coming your way here anyway, because in the relationship future, we've got the Fool. Now, the Fool itself isn't a negative card. It's the 0 card of the deck, but the Fool is about to walk off this cliff. Yes, they're going to learn a lot of lessons and everything else, but they are still going to fall off this cliff, right? So the Fool is talking about starting a journey right back at the beginning. It's 0 because it's neither positive nor negative. So even though you're restarting from, you know, from scratch, it's not a negative or a positive. It's just what needs to happen. The fact that it's reversed, though, is saying that perhaps the pair of you haven't learnt your lessons yet. So perhaps there are things here that are going on that you're both a little bit uncomfortable with and want to change, but you haven't done anything about it. And so the cycle is about to repeat all over again, which is great in terms of it allows you both to be able to go back and learn those lessons and come back at it from a different perspective. However, it means that you're re-looping. So are you going to make different choices this time would be the question. Are you going to be more honest with each other? Are you going to be, you know, more open with each other? Are you actually going to take the steps necessary for you to, you know, to move forward as a couple? Or are things just going to end up right back at square 0 in another ... number of months? It does talk about the Strength card is coming in, because it really does talk about needing to find the strength between the two of you to make those choices moving forward. Now, although this does particularly link what Flavio is looking for with the future, I think you need to also look at this as connecting to the relationship to the future. It's saying that you need to find this strength. You need to, again, and not, when I say find the strength, I don't mean shut down or anything else. I'm talking about finding the strength to be vulnerable, if that makes sense, because this is reversed. So it's saying sometimes the hardest thing to do is to admit that we are scared or vulnerable or worried. And sometimes that is the exact thing we need to be able to move forward. Do you know what I mean? Because if we just put our head in the sand and pretend that we're not worried, it's not going to happen. If we pretend, oh yeah, look at me, I can deal with everything because, you know, I've got no strings. Do you know what I mean? I've got nothing to worry about. There's no worries in my head. Everything's grand. I'm not worried. Then again, that faking that strength sometimes is the worst possible thing, because you're putting a mask over, and it's like putting a band-aid over a broken arm. Ain't gonna fix nothing. Sometimes being vulnerable and saying, oh yeah, actually probably need more than a band-aid, seeing as my bone is jutting out of my skin and I am pumping several gallons of blood onto the floor, probably means I do need a bit more help than I'm admitting to. And I think that is key for the pair of you, is finding that ability, that vulnerability, and the strength that vulnerability brings. It sounds really oxymoronic, because it really is saying through being vulnerable together and opening up together, you find the inner strength that both of you have, if that makes sense. And you find that jointly. And without that, you're going to struggle, because you kind of have to have that vulnerability to have a relationship that moves forward. You have to be able to be vulnerable with each other. You have to be able to say, do you know what? I'm really struggling. I'm really fucked right now. I can't cope right now. And for your partner to be able to say, I've got this. Or for your partner to say, yeah, I'm in a similar position. Let's take a few days off. Let's take it, you know, call in sick. Let's unwind. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know what I mean? And sometimes if you're in a relationship where you can't do that, where you've got this mask of strength 24/7, that's when things get really difficult. The root of everything is some stagnancy going on. This is still here. This stagnancy card is not shifting. This love energy is not moving forward. So it really does feel, although there is some changes, and although there is, you know, there is definitely a hope here, it still feels like there is this stagnancy. So again, the advice is coming back to this strength card. And it's like, you don't have to be strong with each other, or you shouldn't have to be strong with each other. In a equal, positive, affirming relationship, you should be able to admit when you both got worries and concerns. And hopefully, my darling, hopefully the pattern that's here, look, from a sort of this connection with this person bringing in some swords, that would be the only thing I'd be concerned about, right? Is somebody else. And because it's on the same level as this strength card, it's almost like somebody else is saying, don't show a weak side. Don't be vulnerable. Don't show weakness. It will make you come across as weak. Don't show any vulnerability. Don't show any human emotion. Do you know what I mean? But I think, in all honesty, my darling, I think the way to get through this stagnancy, the way to get beyond this stickiness that isn't moving forward, is to be vulnerable, and is to try and restart and refresh and get to know each other again from the very beginning that fall brings. Relearn those lessons together. And I hope, my darling, that helps. It does feel very hopeful. It does feel that there is some positive outcomes here. It's just that I think you might have to go through a few hoops before you find it, if that makes sense. But again, that strength reverse card, that can also be linked in with counseling if need be, because again, that's a very positive way, in a structured way, for you to talk about your own vulnerabilities with each other and your fears and all of that. So maybe look into that if that's something that is available to you. But that's going to be your reading for today, my darling. I hope that helps, and thank you ever so much for your question. Right, I'm gonna Neens, before I do your reading, my darling, I'm gonna pop into the live chat, because I am hyper aware that the live chat is up to 32 messages and it's gone a little bit wee bonkers. Oh no, I've got it. It's just Elisa. Right, let me have a look. Right, okay. He's very career focused. You're both Geminis. Oh my gosh, I'm a Gemini. So yeah, tell me about it. Another chance at this, basically. Yeah, could be, could well be. Could it be that the lessons we're supposed to learn are from past selves? I don't believe in that. I do believe that we've been here before, but I don't believe that the lessons from a past life are still here. Put it that way. I don't believe that a past life influences the current life that much. It's like you've learned that lesson, or you haven't. Now you'll come around to do something completely different. You're not your past self. Do you know what I mean? You're not. Yeah, you need to find that strength. Yeah, there's a difference between vulnerable and fragile. Vulnerable is to say that you need that there are some areas that you need help in. Fragile is like, oh no, I'm so scared. I can't do anything. Please help me. Do you know what I mean? Good evening again, Code Deb. Yep, I am still live. I'm on for another half an hour. The stagnancy is because you're scared to move it forward because you feel he's not ready. Well, if you've known each other for 15 years, when is he going to be ready? If not now, when? If not who? If not you, who? Do you know what I mean? You're hopeful. How much does it cost for Slimming World? The last time I went, it was $5.95 a week, Deb. I haven't been for a long time. We are maybe going back. I don't know. All depends. This whole nightshade diet makes that a lot more difficult, but yes. Anyway, Elisa, I hope that helps. Thank you very much for your question. Neens, my darling, Neens. Hello. We're still here. Hopefully, Neens, you're here in the live chat. Finally got round to you, my darling, nearly an hour later. It's been a busy old one today. No problem at all, Elisa. It's been a busy one today, but there is still time. If you would like a tarot reading, please go ahead and send it through as a super chat to guarantee one of the last spaces. If not, you don't have to. You can wait until I open up a free round, which will be after this reading. Okay, so those are your options. If you want to guarantee the last space, you can go ahead and do that by sending it as a super chat, or wait a few moments until after Neen's reading until I open up a free round. Okay, so Neen's, my darling, I don't know whether you're here live or not, but I'm going to read for you as if you are. So then, as always, we're cleansing the space. And I'm asking Wispy to come in. Wispy, come and join us. Come and join us. Come and join us. Do I have a little tinkle, tinkle bell? Do I have a little tinkly, tinkly? I do have a little tinkly, tinkly song. Where it is. I'm looking around as I speak, and I don't think... Here we go. I'll tell you what. We'll jingle jangle this. I don't know whether you're hearing that. I'm jingling jangling some jewelry that I made. Oops. Well, there we go. Jingling jangling some jewelry I made. There we are, Wispy. Wind chime sounds. There we go, Wispy. Wispy's happy. Right. The things I have to do for a blooming thought form. I know, right? So then, let me just pop that back on there, because otherwise it's going to fall off and go everywhere. So then, Neens. Is there anything coming in the love department? Let's have a look, Wispy, for Neens in their love department. I pressed the button again. Nothing's happening. You know, keep doing it. Keep doing it, Lisa. One day it will go bong again. Here we are then. So for Neens O'Day, is there anything happening in the love department? Is there any love and romance coming up for Neens? Let's have a look. We're going to do... I'll tell you what, we're going to do. Here we go. We're going to go where you are, what your potential is, and what your path is in love, and what your potential is, means. So this is a little bit different, right? So where you are, what your path is, and what the potential for love is, right? I don't know whether I did the cut, but I'm going to do it again just in case. There we go. A third up, or 2/3 down, whichever way you want to look at it. So then, where you are in terms of love overall. 7 of Pentacles. So I think you're a little bit wary about planting seeds and knowing when to harvest them, right? This is very much talking about growth and the difficulties that come with loving somebody in a way that is healthy and in a way that is open. Interesting. This card came up before, but it was reversed. So I always find it interesting when cards repeat, but somehow they flipped. But the 7 of Pentacles is obviously career, work, finances normally, but it is also about this element of growth. And it does really feel like if somebody was coming into your life, or if somebody was in your life already that you weren't quite sure of, but they were interested, would you know how to take that forward? And if that was starting to go forward, would you know, would you be happy making those choices? Do you know what I mean? In your path in love, 3 of Cups. Okay, thruples. No, I'm joking. But your path in love is to actually, I think that this is saying you want more than just a relationship. You want family. You want to settle down. You want to do, the stereotypical things that are supposed to happen when you fall in love. You want the happy ever after, but you want it to have, the close-knit family and the children and the house and all of that. You want that, which is absolutely fine. But this is more than just what you want. This is your path. So this is where your romantic life is headed. Okay. So it's literally saying that for you, romance isn't about a physical encounter, or for you, romance isn't about a short-term fling or anything like that. For you, romance really is about having that longer term partnership and everything that that brings, which is a wonderful path to be on if that's, again, if that's where you're, if that's what you want, basically. Potential wise, we're looking at, okay, the Four of Wands. So this is really good because it's saying that the potential right now in your love reading is for a stable and what's the word I'm looking for, brain? Come on. It's stable and empowering and uplifting. That's the word. Relationship, because you've got the Four of Wands. Wands is about security, confidence, self-esteem, and the Four is about stability. Okay, so this is more than just, this is the thing, right? This is the what would it be? I don't know. I don't quite know where you are in. Oh, you must be in the UK because you sent it as £2. So this is you being in a comfortable Ford Galaxy, or you know, a nice Nissan, a decent Ford. I know Galaxies are way old. This is about that, not jumping into a red Ferrari. Okay, so this is you choosing safety and comfort over something that could be a lot faster, if that makes sense, right? So this is saying that your potential is really to have that homeliness in terms of a love, in terms of love and that sort of romance and partnerships. So it feels, if that's what you're looking for with this path, it feels like it's absolutely connecting. So again, I think that this so far is leading towards that family, cottagey kind of warm Sunday evening type romance, rather than it being a wham bam thank you ma'am. But I'm going to have a look at, now we know where your path is. Wispy, I'm pressing your music, it doesn't matter that it's not playing. Wispy's in the ether. Wispy, I'm going to ask for, are there any signs of this coming in the next couple of months, between now and the summer? Do we see any advancement in Nins's journey towards love? Is there somebody new coming in? Is there somebody existing that's going to change their feelings? That's what we're looking for. So we're going to get a general reading with the 3 cards. So we've got the Fool, so this is talking about a restart. We've got the 5 of Wands, which is talking about some, again, maybe licking of wounds, and the Chariot, a little bit stuck. Okay, so the Fool. Overall, again, hang on, where have I gone? There we go, pressing it, that one. So again, we've got the Fool means. Now again, it's reversed. So the Fool reversed is talking about a restart, a refresh. I don't know how old you are, but I think that, you know, maybe you've had relationships in the past, and maybe you've had this in the past, but this is talking about restarting a journey, starting over again, and maybe learning some different lessons this time, learning, or even having to learn the same lessons again, because some of us have to learn the same lessons many times before they stick. And I'm not saying that's the case with yourself, my darling, but with this Fool reversed, it really does feel like there is a shift happening, and that this is something that I think you are ready for, if that makes sense. You are ready for a new start. Even though it's reversed, it does feel that this is something that you're kind of in control of. Do you know, does that make sense? You are in control of this restart. You are in control of it, of what you accept, what you don't accept, how you want life to be, how you want to get your path and into this potential. And I think that's something that being able to restart and being able to go over things with a fresh set of eyes, I think is really useful at times. And again, it's that feeling of, you know, you're not back at square one, because this is you started 0, but also you've learned all the lessons up till now, and now it's about learning something else and moving forward. I do think with the 5 of Wands coming in, that I do think that you've got some insecurity issues to deal with, right? I think there's something here at the bottom that you really need to not, if I say deal with, it sounds really flippant, but I think there's some stuff for you to work on in feeling more confident and lovable, and that whatever happened in the past wasn't your fault, and that you are, you know, a bright spirit worthy of love and everything that here your path is on. You are worthy of this. You deserve this. You should have this. You can have this. You will have this. And that is something that I think maybe that little voice in the back of your head sometimes becomes quite loud and says, oh, I am not worthy, or I've had that and I've missed my chance, or whatever it is. And I think for you, my darling, this is that key lesson of actually, to move forward, you have to move forward. You can't stay stuck in the past. The only way to move forward in life is to stop looking behind you, because then you're not, you know, you are going to fall off that mountain and that cliff top, and that's not a good place to be in, metaphorically. The only way to move forward is to do that. And this is talking about, again, this is your confidence, right? It's not about your ability to love. It's not about, you know, your ability to find joy or happiness. It's about you having the confidence to believe that you are worthy and deserving of this really positive relationship outcome. And the Chariot is talking about this journey as well. Again, it's talking about the fact that this is more than just a physical journey. This really is a spiritual journey forward for you to be open and accepting of love. However, I don't think this is going to be easy. I think the fact that this fall is reversed as well is really saying that the lessons from the past, the scars from the past, you think are going to be with you forever. And actually, that's not the case. We've all got scars that we carry around with us, physical, mental, emotional, but they fade in time. They heal. We're less and less aware of them. And for somebody else that we're just seeing, they may not even know those scars are there until we choose to reveal them. So this journey is actually a really positive journey. This Chariot is really saying, look, you can move forward and leave everything else behind. You can scrap that old mentality that kept you down or kept you in a particular mindset. You can move forward, Names, and you're not going to be comfortable doing it, because it's going to put you out your comfort zone. You're so used to having this feeling of being unworthy or less than, that it's going to be really difficult for you to actually, you know, believe in yourself enough to even start this journey. But once you're on it, you will start moving towards your path and your potential. Okay, so I don't think there's anything coming up in romance in the immediate couple of weeks, right? It feels like, or in the immediate couple of months rather, it feels like even if there was somebody on the horizon, these two cards are blocking that right now. This is your work. This is your homework, right? You have to work out how you regain some confidence and feel worthy and deserving of love in its purest form for it to come to you, because you are deserving. Each one of us is deserving. We might not feel it. Our past actions might, you know, we might say that our past actions remove us from that ability or remove us from, you know, being allowed that. But I believe very, very firmly that there is love in the universe. There is more love in the universe than we would even know what to do with. We've just got to open ourselves up to it. And once you do, that love energy starts coming in. And whether it's a partner, whether it's friendships that start, you know, helping you regain your trust and regain your confidence, whether it's, you know, all sorts of people that come into your lives, and each one adds another little twig to your fire and another little branch, and then this one's half a tree, and before you know it, your fire is raging again, and that little ember of confidence becomes that you know, that warmth and that vibrancy. And I think, my darling, that for you, that journey is something that you need to work on right now, because I really do feel this blockage right here of stopping the fall, the positive aspects of the fall coming in, and the positive aspects of the Chariot. It's like this journey doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. But whilst you're confidence isn't there, you're not going to be ready to accept that you're capable of being loved totally, warts and all, flaws and all, you know, for yourself authentically 100%. And trust me, I've been in that position and it took years to get out of it, but it is possible. And again, I think for you, that is going to be the toughest journey for you for the coming weeks, months, whatever. But it is absolutely possible, my darling. And with that, I'm going to say thank you ever so much for your question. I do feel love coming your way. It does feel that there is that out there for you. You've just got to be open and accepting of it. But it's there. It absolutely is there. And I hope that helps. And that is going to be your reading for today. Thank you ever so much for your question, names. Right, let me have a look in the live. You have someone in mind. Interesting. Code Deb, I talked about it at length. So the long and short of it, too long didn't read, is that the nightshade family of vegetables is toxic to some people with autoimmune diseases or autoimmune syndromes. I have a couple of those or 3 of those, and they get triggered very easily, which is one of the reasons I wasn't losing weight, I believe, at Slimming World, because I was eating an awful lot of nightshade vegetables. So potatoes, tomatoes, bell peppers, chili and cayenne pepper, aubergines, things like that. Once I removed those from my diet, it helped the autoimmune diseases. And so for me, that's what I'm doing in terms of nightshades. It was Rufus's birthday yesterday, so we did end up having fish and chips. We ordered from we were going to go out for dinner, and I got all dressed up, and in the end he wasn't feeling particularly great, just knackered. So instead of that, we ordered in fish and chips, and I've completely forgot I wasn't supposed to have potatoes, so I ordered proper chips, and I ate proper chips last night, the first time in years of eating fish and chips, and they were lovely. And we're just going to see how that affects everything today. So then we've got 10 minutes. I'm going to be able to do a fairly quick reading. So a 3-card reading resonates really well. Yes, definitely have to be kind to myself. Spiritual journey, hit a wall that we'll keep on. Oh, thank you, my darling. I know, right? I know. Have a little Google of it, Code Deb. It's particularly for people with autoimmune illnesses. Right then, opening up a round. This is the one and only free round for tonight, because we literally haven't had any time to do any others. So if you would like a tarot reading, go ahead and pop your question to the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will grab one of those at random. The free rounds get a 3-card reading, so please don't send a super chat at this moment, because super chat readings tend to go on a lot longer, and I'm not going to be able to go on much past 9 o'clock this evening as usual. But yes, if you want a reading, go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and we'll be back after this. Yes, sorry about that, everybody. Hopefully that does. Hopefully I have some questions in. Bear with 1 second. Right, okie dokie. Sorry, everybody. Just give me 1 second. We've got anything bonging? Nope, nothing is working. Nothing is working. So then, let's have a look. I've got So then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Code Deb, I can't answer that question because it's a medical question. We can't answer those with the tarot, my darling. Possibly is the answer if you have any allergens, allergicness to wheat or dairy, or any autoimmune illnesses, because they are quite often triggered by wheat and dairy. But you need to go and ask your doctor for that one, my darling. Right then, so I thought I had 7. Turns out I don't. Why am I missing? Right, okay. So 1, 2, 3. Right, I've got them. Right, so then what we do when we do a free round is I will literally go up and down, up and down, up and down around the 4 questions that I have in, with the little jog wheel thing on the mouse, and pick one of them at random. So we go from there to there. Okay, let's have a look. And we're going with up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Is that a question? Is that a question? SK, you've asked this one before. I can't answer this again. You've asked it like within the last 2 weeks. So I can't answer that one either, my darling. I'm going to take that one out of the equation. Right then. So A, Noor and Manor Riaz Gadar. It's between the 3 of you, and we're going with this one. Is there one on screen? No, hang on. This one. God, this takes so long. This one. There we go. A. Question: what are S's feelings for you? Okay, my darling, I'll have a look at that for you. What are S's feelings towards you? Let's have a wee little look. And yeah, so then we're going to change the camera position. And let's have a look. So then, what are S's feelings for you? We're going to do a simple reading, a 3-card reading, which is what the free round always gets. And we're going to cleanse the space. Manor, unfortunately, your question wasn't picked. I pick one at random from the 3 questions, and yours wasn't picked, my darling. So it okay, well, SK, if you come back on Sunday, you'll be eligible again on Sunday then, my darling. You'll be eligible on Sunday. I've literally got 6 minutes left. So yeah, that's if I've mistaken that, my darling, then okay, but I can read for you again from Sunday. Okay then, so let me just go back in and click on the blooming question because I've lost it already. Where's it gone? There we go, that one there. So then, Wispy, what are S's feelings for A? Here we go. S's feelings for A. S's feelings for A. Do a drop. There we go. S's feelings for A. So then, what? Okay, so this is all from S's perspective, looking at A. Okay, so what S, or where S is right now, what S needs to know about A, and what the future is, or the possible outcome for what the possible outcome advice would be for S about A. Right, there we go. Right, okay, so oh my god, so my darling, I don't know, I don't know kind of how this plays out, but where S is right now, we've got the 4 of Pentacles reversed. So I don't think there's any growth here. Fours represent stability. When they're reversed, they represent stagnancy, stagnant water, stagnant emotion, stagnant energy. This is talking about Pentacles, which is career, love, career, work, finances, but it's also talking about energy and growth, and I don't think there is any. It feels like it's very, very stagnant. The energy that S has towards you is it's dirty water, it's stagnant, malignant, horrible kind of watery water, if that makes sense. What I'm saying about why I'm saying that is that it doesn't feel like there is any growth here. It feels like whatever energy S has towards you, whatever those feelings are, they're not positive. They're quite done and dusted. And it's like if there was positive energy there, it's completely gone. It feels very much like the energy that is there right now is like a pond that hasn't been cleaned. Do you know what I mean? It feels quite clagged and yucky and dark, as opposed to it being, you know, a positive energy, especially in terms of growth. It doesn't feel like there's any relationship growth here whatsoever. And it really does feel like it's kind of, if there was a hope for a friendship or if this is a family member for, you know, a reconciliation, whatever it is, it just feels yucky. In terms of what does S need to know right now about you and S's feelings to you, we've got Temperance, which is reversed, which is literally saying that if you and S were in some way together, or if you and S somehow had some sort of connection, whether it be romantic or friendship or something, if that has ended, then it's gone. There is no hope here for kind of putting things back. There's no hope for finding a compromise here or finding a way forward. There is no joining of these two liquids to make something new. It's like the stagnant energy we're getting in this position. It's like there's no cleanup for that. The Temperance reverse card is literally saying there is no compromise to be made here. There is no kind of merging of interest. There is no everybody gets something out of it. It just isn't going to happen. That isn't a thing that is possible right now. And then when we get to the Wheel of Fortune is reversed. So in the potential, it's literally saying, look, if you were to find a relationship with A, if S was to get into a relationship with you, then it would be entirely negative. The risk element involved with the Wheel of Fortune reversed is overwhelms the reward. So it honestly feels, my darling, that for you, I think the most positive thing would be for you to move on and allow S to move on, because it doesn't feel like there's a reconciliation here. It doesn't feel like there's any way of compromising or you know, moving forward jointly, with Temperance absolutely reversed. And in the long-term potential here, it's like it's risk over reward. I don't think if S was to get into a relationship with you again, or if that relationship was to develop into something, or if, you know, you and S rekindled your friendship, or, you know, if your siblings, if you spoke to each other again, it feels like you would both be risking kind of any happiness you've got and any peace you've found separately. You'd be risking all of that by getting back into contact with each other. Does that make sense? And so when you're asking about what S feels for you, I don't think there is anything positive here. If anything, it feels really claggy, if that makes sense. It feels really kind of like stuck. And I don't know whether S is somebody who you had a physical relationship or a romantic relationship or friendship or whatever it was, but it feels like that has gone. And any hope that S may have had for that being, in fact, I don't think S hopes for that being brought back, put it that way, because this feels very much like it's completely done. Whatever's happened, it's done. There is no way back from this. This stagnant energy mixed with this absolute no compromise, like just no matter what there is no compromise. There is no way past whatever's happened, whatever the fallout was, or whatever the, you know, however you know each other. There is no way forward in a positive way. And then the outcome, the potential is just so risky. It wouldn't be worth doing it. This Wheel of Fortune is you know, the Wheel of Fortune always talks about risk and reward, and in this case the risk completely outweighs any reward, and so I do not think that S wants anything to do with you. But more than that, I don't think S is willing to risk everything to be back within your circle, if that makes sense. So I don't know what your relationship was. I don't know how you knew each other. I don't know anything about any of that. But from what the cards are saying, it's probably a good thing that you and S aren't necessarily in a strong position right now. If you are in a relationship with S, then it may well be that you need to have a look at that quite urgently, because it really doesn't feel like there's a positive long-term future there for you both. And with that, I'm going to say thank you very much. And again, I know it's probably not what you're wanting to hear, but again, it is only the answers that I can give you with the cards as they fall, my darling. So I hope that helps. And at least if nothing else, hopefully you've got some answers to move forward with in a different way. But that is bringing the stream to an end, everybody. Thank you for being here, everyone. I hope that helps. I've had a good evening. I just wish that my sound system was fully operational. But for now, thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you to everybody for asking questions. Thank you to everybody who sent super chats today. And thank you to absolutely every single one of you who subscribed. And a special thank you goes out to the members, because you're all a bunch of lunatics for supporting me here on my channel. But thank you very much for doing so. It is very kind and very, very much appreciated. But of course, the biggest thanks of all have to go to my moderators for keeping the channel safe and friendly and keeping everything ticking over whilst I'm on the front of the camera doing the readings. So once again, thank you to the mods. I love y'all, you know that. And with that, everybody, I'm going to say thank you very much. And that is it from me. I will be back on Sunday evening, as it says on the bottom of the screen, Sunday evening at 7 p.m. UK time. But until then, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I will definitely catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.